February of 2025, and let's dive into it. Well, the biggest thing is my haircut. That was the biggest thing that happened. I haven't gotten a haircut since I got my haircut in February of 2025. I got my hair cut and then I went home and my mom was just like, why? Why? ¿Por qué? Cool thing. I was always trying to work at this time downtown to be a little more social. And I met somebody while I was working at the Codependent, and this person was in town, not normally in town, travels a lot, and we were talking and we started talking about AI because I was writing a newsletter. He and I started talking about AI. He funds AI startups and he was hosting an event at the Codependent later that week. And I kind of got invited to the event, but I also told him that I do marketing and I do media and I do event coverages. So I kind of got invited and I also got kind of asked to bring my stuff, and that was fine. So to me, I took it as the opportunity that it was to hang out with people who were making AI front-running innovations and also just have an opportunity to strut my stuff the way that I do with my camera. And that was kind of cool. It was different when you hang around like a bunch of realtors. They're very ready for camera moments. They sparkle. When you hang out with people who make technology, they're more of the people who like to be kind of in the background. So my camera wasn't as happily viewed as maybe some of the other events that I went to, but it was super fun and I loved meeting everyone. There were some very cool products that I got to talk to people about, and I also got to kind of refine some of my conversations, which was really great and lead up to my favorite month of the year, which is day 3 tomorrow. Stay tuned. Month of February, I also did the random photo shoot. It was just like a random decision to record myself in a full suit in the woods. Caught a day like where it was kind of like beginning to storm, and it actually did rain while I was doing it, and so I ran into nobody, which was great because I would have to leave my phone and then walk away and then come get it and be wearing a full boot. But I felt like part of the reason why I did it was because this idea that like my shoes were not made for the environment, but I'm definitely trucking along anyway. This is when I started doing shadow walks content. I like shadow walks. It's like recording my shadow. This song was the song of February.
Song of all time.
This is definitely the song of social media February. It's got 16K views. And the comment section is like calling me cringe, which I love. Oh, I went to Dallas twice in February. So the first time was to say goodbye to the old house. Super cute. But then the other time was to say goodbye to Kajol. Kajpaj was leaving to be a big New Yorker girl we love. But while I was in town the second time, I made more use of it and did a little link up for a Fort Worth dialogue at the dashboard episode. It was recorded in February. It was not posted in February. Michaela was amazing. Had a lovely time with her. We definitely chatted a lot longer than I think both of us expected, which was great. And I loved the whole scene of Fort Worth. It was my first time at the stockyards. It was super fun. Content-wise, I think that's it. The biggest thing was definitely getting my actual haircut because my hair was about this length, honestly. I could just do it all over again as this upcoming February, just chop it all off again. I feel like this was my favorite video that got slept on. This song was pretty big, but the transition itself was really cool because I put myself in a mirror and then I had to mask myself so I would look like I was in the mirror. And then I added a bunch of layers to get the broken glass and the tennis ball. Fun fact about this one, I tagged the Case brand on that video. Like 3 months later, they used it in an ad. They like notify you on Instagram, but like I invited them to collaborate on the post and they ran it as an ad. So some people saw that video. No payment. No payment. You just do stuff for free until people start paying. This is the nice little networking hangout for the AI event, my friend that I made. Yeah, that's the main gist of content wise, and also a little bit life. Like, I feel like I really don't do much life outside of work, so most of my stories of life I either turn into work or I find a way to, yeah, I find a way to make it work. Work it. Let's see. So for February posts on the newsletter side of all the jazz, I'm still finding my flow. So the month of January, I introduced the concept that I was going to add a paywall, and February was when I actually added the paywall. And at this point, I actually started doing a little bit of cold calling. I would say it's like more lukewarm calling. I was calling people I actually knew who also were opening up my emails and just asking them and offering some discounts to some closer friends of the network. And that is how I got my people. I actually did end up catching a few fish to be a part of my exclusive network of content posted on Substack, which was amazing. Every weekend, usable contents. Corner of the internet was kind of a big one. This one got me a lot of views. First of all, I think it's still like one of my top posts in all of my Substacks, which is crazy because I've posted a lot. It's sitting at 3,700 views, and I normally get like probably like 2,100 is my average. This one popped off because I was talking about specific people in the industry, and the corner of the internet, I was just propping up profiles who were doing signature series. So number one, Ryan Sarhant, he would do his Fires Today series, either volley with like the person who's like a cameo of a real person that is a client or one of his agents or his assistant, and try to solve a problem that he actually has on his agenda. And it's great, builds credibility, 10 out of 10. The other one was Mike Hedge, which in the real estate world, he's pretty big because he went viral for making all the noises that you would want to delete from a video. So like a Gen Zer edited his videos and was like, so that was his whole video, was like just him making those noises. And whenever you look at the next one, Tom Dunn in Vail did chairlift chats, and he did chairlift chats for I think 2 years, but it's like very notable and has a lot of notoriety within the community of people. When you live in a place that is, people go on chairlifts all the time, that's kind of crazy, like to be known as that. So to me, that is the power of branding. If you think about a chairlift, if you're thinking about a home in a place that has a chairlift, it higher associates him, and more power to you, Tom. Love it. And Caitlin Hanging, I don't know if I said that right, but she did amazing, being like millennial humor, self-deprecating, and kind of being like, this house is so big, if I died, no one would find me for days. Stuff like that. I don't know. She's really great at it. She was kind of the queen of it and really paved the way of that kind of content in the real estate world. And then Ritz-Carlton, the brand, made a late night checkout series with a real celebrity, Josh Hutcherson from Hunger Games. That was a big one, and kind of went along with all the sales that I had been prompting up to people. And it was just really relevant to what was the happenings at the time. And even if I look back on that now, like, that kind of feels like some of that stuff is aged out already. But at the time, like, that was peak. They were at the top. That's how quick social works. Then I talked about the ROI of personal branding, usable content on the weekend, Valentine's Day content. So this was the first post. So I do the weekend posts, but then I was thinking and strategizing on how I can add more value to my clients who pay, because now I had people who were paying, so I was worried about value. So this one was Valentine's Day content, and I gave them custom newsletter prompts, so you could take the prompt, design a newsletter for yourself. A little bit of plug and play with different persona basis, my 3 bears. I really loved this one when I went through it on the Zoom call later that week. It was really fun to see the output because each one had like a fun interactive suggestion. And so the like mama bear one was like a cutesy, warm-hearted one, and then the baby bear one was like Instagram challenge. Also gave them templates, not just templates, but like downloadables for them to post on their story for Valentine's Day. Same as what a brokerage would do. I guess that was the other thing that I was doing at this time, was kind of a first, was I was doing Zoom calls with my like paying clients. And so doing the Zoom calls was, I loved it. I actually was like way better at it than I thought I would be, mainly because maybe I like teaching things, but it's been a while since I taught things, because I feel like once you graduate college, you're back to being a student. Yes. So I feel like it had been a while since I was like in the teaching area, and so it just felt really good to be in that role, and I actually really enjoyed it, and it would go really well. I think at the beginning I would talk way too fast, which I still sometimes do, but I feel really good about looking back on those Zoom calls. One of the funny content playbooks was that eggs were wealth. That was like the beginning of egg prices rising, so I thought it'd be really funny and outlined really intensely. I worked really hard on this one, on how people should create their content for making a property tour with how eggs are like wealthy. So then it would be like you're showing off the home, and then you show off the fridge, and then the fridge is just full of eggs, and they're like wow, this home is luxe. This home has got it. They would have to buy the eggs, but then they could donate them. Sell $1 million home and donate some eggs for the people. Ending with a champagne glass, but you crack the egg in the champagne glass, so it's like, that's like the real luxury. It's not popping a bottle, it's cracking an egg. Closing all your apps was a big one. The second Zoom call of the month, because I do 2 per month for teachings. So my first teaching was Valentine's Day and walking people through how to use my stuff that I gave them. So like I gave them the downloadables, here's how you download it, and then the main thing was figuring out how to teach them how to use the prompting with the newsletter. So you plug in this, and then you can adjust this way, and this is how you input it into, and you can even create a graphic. The last Zoom call of the month was teaching them how to like, comment, post on autopilot. There's an AI product out there where it would like content, post it, and comment on your behalf. That one's kind of crazy. I don't know how I feel about it, like, emotionally, but like from a big business standpoint, it's great, but like if you're kind of more in grassroots type business model, it's not the best product. I think it did, but it was kind of like a beta tester. I found out about it, one of the people at my AI networking event in February. My worst fashion moment, I don't even have it on my YouTube. I have it all the way on TikTok. I had a really bad fashion moment. It was actually like the day I got my hair cut. I hated my outfit. And I think I kind of, like, I loved my haircut, but I also kind of hated it right after it was cut. Like, I never liked my hair with the way that they style it and blow dry it. I honestly like my hair when it air dries more. I was trying to wear my dress as, like, a shirt. Like, I was actually just trying to wear the dress as a shirt, and it was making me look too fat. But the jacket is really the problem, and it was too cold to take the jacket off. So this was my epic outfit failure of the month, and it still haunts me. And I think it double haunts me because I went to the coffee shop that day after I got my hair cut. And my coffee friend, like, I have a worker there who I always say hi to, and he's so nice. And he looked at me kind of weird anyway because I got my hair cut. And we didn't say anything about it, but I also was just thinking it could be the outfit. He could be looking at me this way because of my outfit. It's a real mess. It was a real mess. Sometimes I just have epic fails, and sometimes I have epic wins for outfits. And then I have medium. I have a happy medium that's neutral. But yes, Fort Worth comes later for the actual posting of the episode, but recording wise, Michaela and I did hang out in February, and then I got to say goodbye to Hodgepodge before she left New York. The other big trend, and I still see it to this day, is post-it notes. So in February, I was like, you guys need to, like, if you want to tell the audience something, write it as a post-it note and just find it in the video. Like, I'm gonna write a post-it note, I'm gonna put it on the sticker. I should have done it just for the video. Catch me tomorrow with a post-it note. But just be like, did you guys see this? And then boom, it's a note for people to read. Just like I'm showing you on my phone, you know, it's like more interesting. It's as if we're gossiping and I'm like catching up with you on life and I'm showing you the way that I would show you. And so a post-it note almost has even a more businessy vibe because it's like you show your assistant the post-it note, your assistant shows you a post-it note.
That's right.
Oh, we should do that. Do we have that many post-it notes? My February, I got to go to Dallas twice. Which, at the beginning of the year, I really went to Dallas the most. I don't really think I went back too often after that. I was a little self-obsessed with work. Really, if it didn't feel like quality time was being productive, then I really didn't want the quality time. Which was so bad. It was either I wanted to be at home, recharging, alone, being a turtle, or I wanted to be out doing something productive that would move the notch in a positive direction for my business. Self-obsessed. I loved myself in February. That was the only date I had in February. My favorite video of the month was this one. It's my recap video, like throwback to how people lived in the house that died, and that house is amazing. And I think that's like my favorite kind of content to make anyway, is like nostalgia content. Like FOMO for a moment that we all had together, or you weren't a part of the moment that you can feel the emotion. FOMO content is my specialty. I love it. FOMO content is where it's at. And that video is my FOMO for the moments that I had in college. And I love all the people in it. Looking back on my music playlist, this is when my Tate McRae moment happened. She actually was my #1 artist on Spotify this year. But I decided in February that her album would be like my grounding album. Like if I felt like I was out of sorts and I needed to like recenter myself, I would listen to Tate McRae's It's So Close to What. It was my ish. I really immediately loved the song Green Light and Signs. Like those two were like my two, but the more I listened to the album, my favorite became Blood on My Hands. That song is really fantastic. So I don't really know which one we're going to listen out on. Probably Signs. That was like the first one I was really obsessed with. But I really love that.
So when is that? So is that?
You're worth it. Got some blood on my hands. That's a good song. Amps me. And that was February 2025. See you the next one. The next one is Juicy. It's my favorite month of the year. Bye.